In 2024, archaeologists found two massive cities hidden in the mountains of Uzbekistan. One of them is 3 times the size of Vatican City. Both are over 2,000 meters above sea level, higher than most commercial planes fly. Nobody knew they existed, and nobody understands how anyone could build cities this massive at such impossible elevations. This isn't just about 2 forgotten cities. This completely rewrites what we know about the ancient Silk Road. Because if cities this big can hide for 1,000 years, what else are we missing? The Silk Road. Everyone knows the name. The legendary trading route connecting China to the Mediterranean. Spices, silk, gold, ideas, flowing between east and west for over 1,000 years. But here's what we thought we knew. The Silk Road was a network of routes through valleys, deserts, and lowlands. Cities existed at key crossroads and oases. Nobody built major urban centers in the mountains because, well, it's almost impossible to survive up there. Except, that's exactly what happened. Dr. Michael Frchetti from Washington University was using drone-based LiDAR technology to survey the Tien Shan mountains in southeastern Uzbekistan. LiDAR uses laser beams to map terrain beneath vegetation and soil. Basically, it lets you see what's buried. At 2,000 meters, that's 6,500 feet above sea level, the scans revealed something impossible. Massive urban settlements, plazas, homes, fortifications, not small villages, cities, 2 cities to be exact, and they were enormous. The first city, Tashbalak, covered about 12 hectares, roughly 30 acres. But the second city, Tugunbalak, 120 hectares, almost 300 acres, 10 times bigger than Tashbalak. To put that in perspective, Tugunbalak is 3 times the size of Vatican City, at over 6,500 feet elevation. In medieval times, this shouldn't exist, but it does. Building a city at 2,000 meters elevation is insanely difficult. The air is thinner. The climate is harsher. Growing food is nearly impossible. Water sources are unpredictable. And getting building materials up there? Forget it. Yet somehow, between the 6th and 11th centuries CE, thousands of people lived in these cities. Not just survived, thrived. The LiDAR scans revealed sophisticated urban planning. Tugunbalak had large plazas for gatherings and markets, residential structures arranged in organized blocks, defensive fortifications protecting the perimeter, public buildings suggesting centralized government, evidence of metalworking and industrial activity. This wasn't a temporary camp. This wasn't a small outpost. This was a major urban center with a complex economy and social structure. Dr. Frchetti described it as one of the largest settlements in Central Asia during its peak. Not in the valleys, not in the lowlands, in the mountains. But here's what's truly bizarre. There are no historical records of these cities. Chinese chronicles documented major Silk Road cities. Persian travelers wrote detailed accounts. Arab geographers mapped the trade routes extensively. Yet nobody mentioned Tugunbalak or Tashbalak. It's as if they were deliberately hidden, or forgotten so completely that they vanished from history itself. So why? Why would anyone build massive cities at 6,500 feet when the valleys below offered easier living? The answer: resources. The Tien Shan Mountains are rich in metals: iron, copper, silver, gold. And in medieval times, whoever controlled the metal supply controlled the economy. Archaeological evidence suggests these cities were metalworking powerhouses. Slag heaps, forge remains, and ore processing sites dot the area. These weren't just trading posts. They were industrial centers. But metals weren't the only draw. The mountains also provided timber for construction and fuel, animals, yaks, sheep, horses for high-altitude herding, security, harder to invade than valley cities, strategic control over mountain passes. And here's the key insight from Dr. Frchetti. The Silk Road wasn't just about the endpoints of China and the West. The mountains actually were host to major centers for interaction. We've been thinking about the Silk Road all wrong. We imagined caravans passing through mountains as quickly as possible, rushing from one valley city to the next. But the mountains themselves were economic powerhouses, Spices, frankincense, myrrh from Arabia, silk and porcelain from China, glassware from the West. All of it passed through mountain cities like Tugunbalak. And the mountain dwellers? They added their own products, metals, furs, timber, to the global trade network. These cities were the middle nodes in a vast network, not bypasses, destinations. Imagine living in Tugunbalak at its peak, around 900 CE. You wake up in a stone house, one of hundreds arranged in organized blocks throughout the city. The air is thin. Every breath requires effort. Outside, the temperature might be freezing even in summer, but the city is alive with activity. In the central plaza, merchants from China, Persia, and Arabia trade goods. The sound of hammers on anvils echoes from the metalworking quarter. Smoke rises from dozens of forges. The city's population might have been several thousand people. Archaeologists haven't excavated enough to be certain, but the sheer size of Tugunbalak suggests a major population center. And they didn't just survive, they built monuments. The remains of large public buildings suggest centralized authority. Someone was organizing all this, governing, planning. Food was probably the biggest challenge. At 2,000 meters, growing crops is difficult but not impossible. Barley and wheat can grow at high elevations. Herding animals, yaks, sheep, provided meat and milk. And trade caravans brought additional food supplies. Water came from mountain streams and springs. The city's location suggests careful planning around water access. You can't build a city of thousands without reliable water. But the real wealth came from metal. The forges never stopped. Iron tools, weapons, decorative metalwork, all produced in Tugunbalak and traded along the Silk Road. For centuries, this system worked. The mountain cities flourished. Then, sometime around the 11th century, they were abandoned. Nobody knows exactly why these cities were abandoned. There are theories. Theory 1. Climate change. The medieval warm period ended around 1200 CE. Temperatures dropped. Mountain living became even harder. Crops failed. People left for warmer valleys. Theory 2. Shifting trade routes. The Mongol conquests of the 13th century disrupted traditional Silk Road networks. New routes emerged. The mountain cities lost their strategic importance. Theory 3. Resource depletion. The mountain's metal deposits weren't infinite. After centuries of mining, the most accessible ores were exhausted. Without metals to trade, the economic foundation collapsed. Whatever the reason, the cities died. People left. Buildings crumbled. Soil covered the ruins. And for 1,000 years, they were forgotten. Until 2024, when LiDAR scans revealed them again. But here's the thing. Fachetti's team has only surveyed a small portion of the Tien Shan Mountains. The mountain range stretches for 2,500 kilometers across 5 countries. And if 2 massive cities can hide for a millennium in one small area, what else is out there? There could be dozens more cities, maybe hundreds of settlements, entire networks of mountain civilization that we know nothing about. And it's not just Uzbekistan. The Silk Road crossed the Himalayas, the Pamirs, the Karakoram ranges. All of them could be hiding similar secrets. The technology exists now. LiDAR drones can survey vast areas relatively quickly, but it takes funding, time, permission from governments, cooperation across borders. Dr. Fachetti hopes to create more accurate maps of medieval Central Asia, to understand the true scope of mountain civilization along the Silk Road, to rewrite the history books. Because right now, we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg. 2 cities, hidden for 1,000 years, revealed by laser technology in 2024. The Silk Road wasn't just a path through the mountains. The mountains themselves were centers of civilization. Cities thrived at impossible elevations. Thousands of people lived, worked, traded, and built complex societies in places we assumed were uninhabitable. Tugunbalak and Tashbalak are proof that our understanding of ancient history is incomplete, that major civilizations can vanish so completely that even their names are lost. And somewhere in those mountains, there are more cities waiting to be found, more stories waiting to be told, more history waiting to rewrite itself. The clouds are lifting, and we're only just beginning to see what they've been hiding. What do you think is still hidden in those mountains? Let me know in the comments.